Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about the updated edition of the Black Ember Forge, which is a very unique and versatile convertible and expandable bag. We're also going to be taking a look at the Forge SB, which is a smaller version of the Forge that is meant to work more as a briefcase. I've had a chance to use both of these over the past couple of weeks now, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to test them. I'll show you how I've loaded them out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how they compare to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, the Expandable Forge and the Forge SB have a very similar style and design. They have Black Ember's typical modern, sleek, techie vibe that feels very distinct. It's something that's going to work well in an office setting, particularly in the black colorway that these have. The form factor, it's also something that's going to be nice for traveling and exploring a city. As far as the materials, these feel very solidly built. Like the Citadel R3 that we also looked at from Black Ember recently, these are using the company's Recore nylon fabric, which I am a big fan of. It offers a ton of durability and weather resistance. I really like that with these newer versions of the bags, the material also is more matte. It's not quite as shiny as the previous iterations, so I just think that that adds to the versatility while keeping all of the other aspects of the fabric that I really like. Then beyond that, you have just really great hardware all throughout. Black Ember does a great job of using premium materials, Hypalon zipper pulls, aluminum buckles for the handles, and then you of course have the very well protected aqua guarded YKK zippers all throughout. Continuing along the exterior of the bag, both versions have a variety of attachment points along the outside. No external water bottle pockets, but you do have a couple of loops on the side that you can pair with a carabiner. And then if you get the max version of these bags, they also include compression straps that you can pair with these attachment points along the front to give yourself a little bit more flexibility with the types of items that you can carry. Similar system to what we saw on the Citadel backpack as well, so this feels very well reinforced. And you know, it works nicely if you want a cleaner look. You can just leave that off. And then you have a few additional attachment points on the bottom of the Expandable Forge, which you don't have on the SB. The bags also have handles on the side to give you some additional flexibility with how you can grab them. This is going to be great if you happen to place this under the seat in front of you. You just be able to easily pull this out. These handles also have a couple of attachment points that you can again pair with the carabiner, and so really great to see that there. You have one on each side for both versions of the Forge backpack. And then they both have the really nice handles that will allow you to carry this like a briefcase. You have two handles, so these are secured with this snap closure here. You can open it up, you can carry them with both. They have this nice kind of seatbelt-like fabric here, and then you also have the ability to remove them because of these clips that they have here, so that works pretty well. It doesn't feel like they're gonna come loose or anything like that. And then these are both able to be used as a shoulder bag. So you have some loops here that pair with a shoulder strap. The SB includes this really cool strap here. It offers a nice amount of padding. I like how adjustable this is, and it's just gonna make it very easy to rest this on your shoulder, to wear it, you know, like a sling bag if you want to. And then you have, you know, this ability to really adjust this quickly, and you can fully remove it if you prefer not to have the shoulder strap. The Expandable Forge does have the same loops so that you can attach the shoulder strap, but the version that I received didn't actually include the shoulder strap, so it seems like you have to purchase that separately, which is a little bit unfortunate. And then on the branding front, Black Ember typically does a good job of keeping things pretty minimal, so you have the Black Ember text on the zipper pulls, the logo on the attachment point for the handles, but beyond that, nothing super prominent, which is really nice. And then you'll notice that here, both bags stand up pretty well on their own when they're loaded out, which is good, particularly if you're using them like a briefcase. You know, you can place it down next to you, reach in and grab what you need. Now the SB, given how slim the bag is and how the weight can get distributed, I have noticed that this can tend to tip over a little bit, so you'll want to keep that in mind. And then as far as the capacity, the Expandable Forge goes from 20 to 30 liters. So 20 liters when it's compressed down, which is a really great daily bag size in my opinion. It does feel a little bit big for the shoulder style carry, kind of like what I mentioned with the Evergoods Transit briefcase, which was also 20 liters. It starts to feel a little bit big. As a backpack, I think that this size works very well. And you know, it's also at 30 liters when you expand it out, going to be able to hold a pretty impressive amount for minimal travel or for longer days. Again, expanded out, probably not something that I would carry and shoulder carry that often. And then the SB is definitely much slimmer. Even when the expandable version is compressed down, it still looks like the SB is, you know, quite a bit smaller than this. So in my opinion, this size works quite well if you want to wear the bag on your shoulder or carry it like a briefcase. And you know, it's still going to offer a pretty good amount of capacity. It is a little bit slimmer and tougher to take full advantage of the space, as we'll talk about when we get into the organizational options. But in general, both of these work pretty well for daily carry. And then we already talked about the shoulder strap for the SB. With the Expandable Forge, you do still have the ability to turn this into a backpack. So before I pull the backpack straps out, you can see that you have the very well padded back panel, the really nice material, similar style to the Citadel. Good bit of elevation here to create this air channel to provide you with airflow while you're walking around throughout the day. You have a luggage pass through here so that you can rest this on a suitcase while traveling. And then you have this system here with these Velcro flaps that allow you to quickly convert this into backpack mode. So this is one of the better implementations that I've seen for this. It's very easy to convert this, and then the backpack straps that are included here feel great. You have a really good amount of padding, plenty of breathability with the mesh that's included here. The straps have a good width to prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. You also have the load lifters here, so when this is expanded out, these can come in pretty handy for pulling that weight closer to your back. And then you also have the adjustable and removable sternum strap to help distribute the weight with the magnetic buckle, as well as the straps here, which do have a little bit of strap management. So really well implemented kind of backpack style system. And the back panel for the SB, of course, is a more traditional kind of briefcase. So you don't have, you know, a super well padded or breathable backing here, which makes sense. You do still have a nice luggage pass through, so you can also rest this one on a suitcase when you're traveling. Here you just also happen to have kind of a larger slip pocket that might be a good spot to place some documents, a folder, magazine, anything that you're gonna be grabbing a little bit more quickly. Jumping into the organizational options, both versions of the Forge have a really nice zippered quick access pocket on the front. They have Black Ember's unique zipper pull system that allows them to be secured to make them a little bit more difficult for thieves to get into easily. And so this works pretty nicely, very unique system there. And I like that these front quick access pockets have a good bit of volume, so you are able to store something a little bit bulkier on the front of the compartment. It also goes all the way to the top. And so in the SB, at the moment, I have the Evergood Civic Access Pouch 1 liter, just to showcase how much volume this actually has on the front. And then you have some good internal organization here. The orientation works quite well. As a shoulder bag or a briefcase, you can just reach down, grab whatever you need when you swing the bag around. And you have a couple of slip pockets on the back wall. I also have a little power bank here with the volume that I had there. But yeah, elastic mesh slip pockets here that are gonna have enough space for something like some sunglasses. With their case, great spot for cables, chargers. These are the chargers, cables that go with the USB-C hub. And then I also have the Tom Bin Ghostwell pouch, which fit in there very comfortably. So really like the flexibility that these provide. You also have some additional organization at the top, some slots for a pen or a stylus, and then you also have this additional Velcro flap compartment that's gonna be a good spot maybe for a phone or a power bank. It is a little bit taller at the moment. I just have one more USB-C cable here. And then you have the lanyard with this magnetic attachment that will work well so that you can get to your keys easily. And then very similar layout here. You just have maybe slightly more space, pretty similar on the Expandable Forge. Here I have my alpaca admin pouch. I also have my AirPods. And then on the back wall, I have some sunglasses here as well with their case. I have the Apple Magic Mouse in that larger compartment. I have, again, a lanyard with the magnetic key clip here so I can easily get to my items when I need to. And then at the top, you again have these same slots for a flashlight, pen, and then maybe your phone if you want to store it in this compartment. Up next, we have one of the bigger differences between the Forge SB and the Expandable Forge, and that is in the fact that the Expandable version has a dedicated laptop compartment, whereas the laptop sleeve is integrated into the main area of the Forge SB. So taking a look at this dedicated area in the larger bag, you have the well-protected zipper. I really like having the separate laptop area. That's something in general that I'm a fan of. You have the extra space. It's just easier to get to your device without having to worry about everything in the main area. And you have a really good implementation here. You have this Velcro strap to help secure your devices, and you have a little bit of space on the front for documentation, magazines, folder, anything like that, even an extra device. And then you have a tablet and a laptop sleeve, and these offer pretty good amount of padding. They're a little bit thicker. They're not just simple slip pockets or anything like that. And so on the front, I currently have an iPad mini with its case. That was able to fit in there easily, but this would be able to handle a larger 10 or 11-inch tablet. And then on the back, you have a sleeve that's gonna be able to handle a 15-inch laptop pretty comfortably. Currently what I have here is a 14-inch MacBook Pro. You can see there's some leftover space here. And then this does offer good protection on the bottom. It's pulled up a little bit, so you can just drop that in and it's not making contact with the ground, which is great to see. Very easy to get this out when going through TSA, or if I have this on my luggage. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. No fleece lining, which Black Ember has had on some of their laptop compartments in the past, but still a nice kind of inner lining here. You also have an additional piece of Velcro on the inside so you can secure the strap if you prefer not to use it, to make it easier to get to your device, particularly if you're not wearing this as a backpack. This doesn't feel quite as useful in my opinion, so great that you can just kind of secure it. And you know, with the amount of space and padding that's offered here, it really feels like your device is gonna be very well protected while you're on the go. And then moving into the main compartments, I'm gonna start with the Forge SB first, as it has a simpler layout. It has a clamshell style opening, which I think is an interesting choice for a briefcase. It's nice because it does give you, a little bit more visibility into the compartment. But I really liked how the transit briefcase from Evergoods was more kind of like a toolbox. You would place it down next to you. I feel like having this open flat, it doesn't always work, in my opinion, as well for a briefcase style bag. Regardless, you can just kind of leave this zipped up and reach in and grab something from the top when you need to. The laptop sleeve is integrated into the main area here, and so the implementation is well done, so it's easier to get your device in and out than some other similar style bags that I've seen because of the way that this flap is designed. You can reach in, grab it quickly, and you can see that it's separate and spacious, so I don't have to worry about dealing with the stuff in the main compartment. Still not as convenient as having a dedicated area for it. So take a closer look at that once I empty everything out, but I wanted to showcase that you can use this just without opening it all the way and grab some of these items from the top, but I'll actually open it so that we can get a better look at the inside. And so, pretty simple layout here. I have a couple of my typical pouches stored, and navigating the space in this area was interesting because you kind of have to pick and choose what you want to use. You have these great slip pockets on one side. They have plenty of space. They have elasticity. You have some zippered pockets as well. And so there's some good built-in options, which don't necessarily match up well with my typical modular style, just given how slim the bag is, and things start to collide against each other, which made it difficult to pack out. But still, like the implementation of these slip pockets, here I have the water bottle that I've been using recently, a slim memo bottle, which fit in there comfortably. And then in the zippered pocket, I just tossed in a deck of playing cards, HDMI cable, just to kind of showcase what it would look like to have something in here. The mesh is very clear. And then you have this larger slip pocket here. Again, good for other larger, taller items that you just don't want floating around, that you want to be able to reach easily. And then just resting in this main area, I have the Lockbee pouch that I've also been using a lot as of late, an Evergood Civic Access pouch, 1/2 liter, and then I have my drone case just to show how something even a little bit bulkier like this would be able to fit. Same for my Beat Studio wireless headphones. I would have been able to store that as well, but just given the slimmer kind of size of the bag, I had to pick and choose which bulky items I wanted to store. And here you can get a better look at the laptop sleeve. And so this does have some rigidity and padding to it. You can see that it kind of get a little bit squished here, which is interesting, but it also feels rigid. You have a little bit of a gap here, not quite as big as the one on the expandable version, but still feels like a good amount of protection, and then plenty of space. 15 or 16-inch laptop should be able to fit in there comfortably. Pretty easy to get it in and out, as I was showing. And then you have this magnetic system at the top for this flap, so it'll keep it closed when you open this up. It's not like this is automatically going to open or anything like that. So interesting system here. I still prefer the dedicated compartment, but The slim layout here is definitely going to be great for somebody who's looking for something highly weather resistant, that's a little bit more minimal, slimmer. And then moving over to the expandable version, this is very similar to the previous iteration of the Forge backpack, which I also looked at on the channel a while back. And so really great kind of work travel bag with the clamshell style opening. Like the SB, you still have that ability to kind of open it up and see everything that's on the inside. You have similar layout on the flap, so a couple of slip pockets combined with the zippered mesh pockets. So these are actually separate areas, great to, again, have some more flexibility, great for a notebook, for a Kindle, cables that you want to access easily, toiletries, same tall slip pocket here. But really the star of this compartment is this separate area that you can use for your everyday carry items, or in my case, I currently have this more loaded out for travel. So you have a zippered pocket here, which I never use these types of compartments too much because I just don't like to create bulging against the things that might be here, but good to have it for something a little bit flatter. And then I like that you actually have the divider to separate out the items that you are storing in this section. So right now, the bag is compressed down to its 20-liter size, so it's more daily carry friendly. And even at that compressed volume, I was able to store my Beats Studio wireless headphones. I also have my DOP kit and then a compressible packing cube. And now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. No compression straps in here or additional organization, so very simple. But this is a layout that does work a little bit better with my typical setup. So if I was loading this out as my daily carry, I'd toss in my pouches, Evergood Civic Access pouch 2-liter, 1-liter, Lockbee pouch. I could store my headphones in there, and there's still some leftover space here to place an additional pouch, jacket. I can also place some items on the other side, and it's a very capable daily bag layout here. Although it's not always going to be the best layout if you're using this primarily as a backpack. That's something with how the pocketing is laid out here. It really does work very well in these two modes. As a backpack, it gets a little bit more difficult to kind of navigate everything. You can still reach down and grab some of the organization, but it just doesn't feel like it's quite designed to be used primarily in that manner. And then you have the ability to expand this compartment out. You have the zipper that goes all the way around to give you an additional bit of capacity. And so this provides quite a bit of space. Again, 20 liters to 30 liters. You can see that this comes up quite a bit. And then now this transforms into a really capable minimal travel bag. So I'll toss in my packing cubes again, just to show kind of how much additional stuff would fit. I would place my larger Peak Design packing cube, a DOP kit, maybe the other smaller Peak Design packing cube that I typically have, extra pair of shoes, and this is something that I could probably get away with using for a longer weekend of travel, maybe even a week if I'm traveling a little bit more minimally. And so really nice flexible layout with this expandable version of the Forge. This is definitely the one that I'm more familiar with. As I mentioned, it's similar to the previous iteration. I've used it for a while now. This is actually one of my wife's favorite carry-on bags because of that expandability and the organization and space that it provides. So it continues to be awesome, and I really like the updates with the fabric. And then bringing back the SB, this is another really capable option. I mean, Black Ember just has some excellent materials, really sleek styling, and even though the layout and the size of this bag weren't really, kind of the ideal setup for me, if you're somebody who just doesn't need to carry quite as much and you want something sleek, modern to take into the office, that's going to be a good option. And then if you want, a very rugged, weather resistant, flexible bag, more for travel focused usage, then the Expandable Forge is still going to be an excellent option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the Forge and Forge SB over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase these on Black Ember's site. The Forge SB is going to come in at around $239. The expandable version of the Forge is going to come in at around $320. And then if you get the max versions of the bags that include some of the accessories that I showed in the video, that's going to bump up the price a little bit. And in general, these are definitely an investment. They come in at a more premium price point. You do get some very well-built bags with really interesting materials and feature sets, but there's going to be some other great bags in these price ranges that may be worth considering. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag they made me think of is of course Black Ember's Citadel backpack, which I absolutely loved using. The updates that Black Ember made on the design and the layout I think worked very well. Still highly weather resistant, similar fabrics to what we saw here, very sleek, modern aesthetic. I like the organizational layout. It has good laptop protection, comfortable harness system, and so, really just checks off a lot of the boxes for what I'm looking for in more of a backpack style carry. So if you like Black Ember style and their materials, but you prefer a backpack like me, then that's gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. Another bag this made me think of is the Evergood's 20-liter transit briefcase, which was a really interesting release from the company, something a little bit different. I really liked the layout of that bag, just the fact that it opened up like their duffel bag, made it easy to just kind of reach whatever you needed. It stands up well on its own, so it felt very much like a toolbox, as I mentioned in that video. The size was a little bit clunky if you're gonna be carrying it on your shoulder, but I really like the way that the handles were implemented. It does work as a shoulder bag if you need to. The shoulder that's included is not the most comfortable, but regardless, it still kind of gets the job done. And then you have Evergood's typical subdued aesthetic, interesting layout. It has a cool implementation for the luggage pass-through, very solid build quality, pretty good laptop protection. And so if you like Evergood's aesthetic and their kind of design choices as far as the layout, and you want something that's more of a brief style carry, then that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the Air Flight Pack 3, which like this one is a convertible bag, but the layout on that is oriented more in kind of a backpack style. So you can wear it as a backpack, as a shoulder bag, you can use it as a briefcase, but the pockets are oriented so that you're reaching in from the top versus the ones on this one where it's meant to be used more as kind of a brief or shoulder bag. So a different style, but it still has a very sleek layout, durable materials. The harness system on that is quite comfortable, so the straps are breathable, padded, you have a luggage pass-through, and so it's just gonna be a great versatile bag to use for work travel, for EDC, and if you like this style of convertible bag, but you want something that works a little bit better as a backpack, then that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Mystery Ranch 3-way expandable briefcase, which is probably one of the bags that reminds me the most of this one. So it's a convertible bag, you can use it as a backpack, briefcase, shoulder bag. Like this one, the pockets are oriented a little bit more so that it makes sense to carry it as a shoulder or a brief so that you can, easily reach the laptop compartment, the quick access area. So it's got a nice layout. It's offered in 2 sizes. The 18-liter size is the one that I tend to prefer just because it's a little more comfortable to use as a shoulder bag and a brief. It also has the ability to expand. So the 18-liter version can give you a little bit more capacity when needed. And that's got a pretty simple layout. It's got a nice quick access pocket. I like the quick rip zip kind of buckle that it has on the front. A dedicated laptop area. It's got a luggage pass-through, pretty comfortable harness system. And so if you're looking for something that has this sort of versatility as far as being able to carry it in multiple ways, but that's gonna have a more rugged aesthetic, then that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. With that being said, the Forge and Forge SB hold up really well against all those options, and if you're looking for some really sleek, durable bags that are gonna offer great weather resistance and a nice organizational layout so that you can easily reach all of your essentials, and these are gonna be some great options to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Forge and Forge SB and how they compare to some of the other similar tech and work bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Black Ember for sending the bags for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.